Good evening, supervisors and residents. I'd like to call to order the regular town board meeting for January 13th, 2026 at 6:31 PM. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I will take roll call. Supervisor Cole,
Here.
Supervisor Olson.
Here.
Supervisor Henriksen. Here. Supervisor Ludke.
Here.
And absent is Supervisor Milliburn. And for the record, I would like to note that Attorney Mark Allsites is here, along with staff member Alicia Morris. With that, we will move right into item number 4, the reorganizational meeting. And I would like to start with the town board chair position. Is there any nominations for that position?
I will nominate John Olson.
Second. That is a thing.
No, that's a good point. So the process that we've gone through in the past is that it's opened up for nominations, so somebody can nominate somebody else. And then after all nominations are done, whether there's one or more people, then the next question is whether those people that were nominated accepts the nomination. And then whoever does accept, if there's only one, then it's a pretty easy vote. If there's two, then it goes to a vote and it's majority.
So I have a nomination for John Olson. Are there any other nominations? Any others? Hearing none. I'd like to call for a vote to nominate, or excuse me, to approve John Olson as town board chair for 2026.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed? None. Hearing none. 4-0. Thank you. And now I will turn it over to Supervisor Olson to continue this meeting.
Confused why Billy was running the meeting.
Like, because we didn't have a chairperson.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you, Billy. Very, very well done.
Thank you.
All right, so the next board assignment that's open is the vice chair position. So is there any nominations for the vice chair?
I will nominate Andy Lunke.
All right, we have one nomination. Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, we have one nomination. Andy, do you accept the nomination?
We'll accept.
All right, all in favor of Supervisor Ludke being vice chair, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right. And now we'll go into committee assignments. Do we, I just want to ask a point of clarification here. Do we want to go through the committee assignments first, or do you want to do the recognition, Andy? Is there a timing for that? Would you prefer to do it earlier or just in line?
Whatever works for flow of the meeting here. I can do it now.
I would say do it now, if you're ready.
So this was the acknowledgement recognition of Buck Broadbent. So Buck recently passed away, and the services are this Friday and Saturday. Buck lived in and served this town for his entire life. He is a Linwood Hall of Fame recipient. Buck served on the Planning and Zoning Commission for a couple terms and was the longest serving firefighter on the fire department, having served 44 years. To put that in perspective, the department is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year. So that means the department has had more years with him than without. Even after retirement, he was still around, being a presence and a mentor. I can speak and attest to that personally. And his stories will be greatly missed. I'd like to again thank Buck for all he's done for this town.
Nothing but respect. Thank you, Andy. Very well said. All right, we'll go back then to the reorganizational meeting. First thing we're going to do is go through the We did the board chair, the vice chair, so now the regular meetings are currently set for the second and the fourth Tuesday of the month. And what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll read each one, so that's a matter of record. Then we can make one motion to accept them all. And if there's anything that we need to change, we can amend as we're going, but then we'll do one motion at the end instead of all individuals. Currently, the official newspaper is the Forest Lake Times, but now we did get a bid, I think, from another newspaper.
We did get a bid from the Isani Chisago County Star. However, we didn't have enough data from the Forest Lake Times in order to compare the two. So it's truly up to you guys if you want to continue with Forest Lake Times, because it has been something we've utilized for, I believe, many years. Or if you wanted to try a different.
Okay. Do we know what the cost difference is? Is there anything significant there?
No, I don't believe there is anything significant.
Okay.
And we use it, I don't want to say very little, but not often in a year's time. So we're talking maybe $100 difference.
Okay. Okay, that's
Would
pretty
any
minor.
of our residents even think of looking at the
The
Isani one? I wouldn't
Yeah,
unless they listen to this meeting.
there would be some re-education needed if we did make that change. I would say if it's not a financial
I keep it.
benefit, I would not suggest we change. Consensus, stay with Forest Lake.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The official township posting places. In the past, it's been the town hall near Miato, the Linwood Country Store, and the website. But I remember we had discussion and made a motion that we were only, not a motion, but it was in the consent agenda that we were only going to use the town hall and the website. Is that correct?
Just the town hall.
Okay, the website is not going to be an official.
No, it'll
Posting
be
place.
there, but it,
Okay. So the suggestion is to remove Near Me Auto and Linwood Country Store as official. It's not that they won't be posted there, it's just that we're not going to
Correct.
be making that a major effort if we need to.
so
Okay.
all the information is there. Staff can speak to it more, but again, part of that, reducing the admin over of having to go out and post 3 things. Right now at each other posting box, you can get to the website, which will contain the information. So that was a process improvement brought forth by the office.
Okay, great. As I'm going, if you disagree or want to say anything, speak up. Otherwise, we're going to get through these.
Why not keep the website as a official posting place?
I can chime into it just a little bit. As a matter by operation of law, the posting place needs to be physical. So generally your town board bulletin board. Again, it's just one of those situations to where I think the board could be over legislating itself. Somebody can, trip up, say, oh, it wasn't on the website and you called that an official posting place. Limit it down. You can have it as a standard operating procedure for you to put it on the website. I think that's a great idea,
Okay.
but I wouldn't make it official.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark. All right, designated bank of the township depository is First National Bank of Wyoming. Designated officials to sign checks. There's 3 signatures. It says it was tabled, but the signatures for officers is myself and Andy and the treasurer, right?
Well,
That's right.
authorize- So I think this is the overall who can sign, but the procedure is
Oh,
a
that we,
board member, clerk, treasurer.
that we require 3 signatures on the check. Okay. All right, mileage reimbursement rate. Last year was 70 cents a mile. This year it's 72.5 cents a mile. The security contact list is currently myself, Andy, Lisa, and Bob. Why is Sam not on there?
I wasn't appointed until a few months later. Probably just never revisited it.
Okay. So I add Sam in that list. Yep.
Just back to the mileage rate, is it better to put it just designated at the current? But I mean, if they change it or whatever, then we're not
Trying to
agreeing to
revisit.
something. I would just make that our standard going
current
forward,
IRS rate.
that we just accept the instead of
Whatever the current Fed rate is.
I think that makes sense.
All right, so current Fed rate. Good suggestion, Andy. All right, credit card users. Bob Milliburn, Daryl Bauman, Pam, Sarah, Paul, Jack, Alyssa. That's who was on there last year. Who do we want on there this year? I don't need a credit card.
I think less is more. I think I'll
I
leave it to
agree.
the office if they already got it established.
So we've kind of whittled down some of the credit cards. So with the idea being that the big township card is used primarily,
Mhm.
and then that eliminates statement after statement for individual people. It's easier to keep track of. Jack still has one. The township has one and Sarah has one. And does Daryl have his own?
Yes.
And those are the only ones that are left. Everything else has been closed.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I don't want one.
Okay, consensus there. Menards purchasers. We have
I would,
several.
I would just designate that to be as needed based on, well, I don't need this to come before me as a board member if fire chief wants to have somebody else pick something up at Menards.
No, but the office has to let Menards know.
Yeah. And
They
that's
have
what
to
I'm
give an
saying, just
official list.
Allow staff to work with staff.
On an ongoing basis throughout the year as needed. Is that what you're saying?
That would be that's my preference. I don't, because to this point, are we gonna come back in a meeting and talk about if
Right.
somebody joins or like, if we just miss Sam, right? I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings like Sam. I would just allow staff to use it as needed.
Comments? Everybody okay with that?
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. All right, quick trip card users. Right now it's just Daryl. Fire chief, data practices responsibility authority is the town clerk. Data practices compliance official is the town law center, which I don't need to change that. So that'll be our current law firm. All right. Let's go ahead and get this motion for that first section.
I make a motion that all the new
Administrative,
administrative. I make a motion to approve what was approved on the list for the credit cards and for the township. Sorry.
Close enough, Billy? Okay.
Sorry, I thought I had something.
That's all right.
I'll second her motion to approve section 1 of.
Section 1, that's a good thing.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, next section, township services. Animal control officer. Right, last year was Gratitude Farms. Is that changing this year?
That's coming forth at the next meeting. We
Okay.
spoke about that at workshop last year.
So tabling this one.
So we'll TBD on that. The attorney, the official attorney is,
Oregon Rupee.
law office, okay. Auditor. Current, last year was Smith Schaefer and Associates. Does that stay changed, TBD?
That would, yeah, I think that was gonna be out of that last discussion too, was Red Path.
Okay. All right, official, billing official is the Rum River Consultants, same. Planning and zoning administrator is Hawkinson Anderson Engineering.
Off. The columns, Mr. Chair, seem to be off.
That's why I print mine.
So planning's only be creative planning.
Oh, I see.
Then the rest just drop down.
Okay. So engineer then is Hawkinson Anderson Engineering. That'll remain the same. Health Authority, Dr. Nick.
I have him as
John.
engineer on mine.
Pardon me?
On mine, it says he's engineer.
That's what Supervisor Lucky.
Yeah.
was saying.
The columns are wrong.
They're all just
Gotcha.
shifted up one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one question on that. Is
Yes.
that health authority in terms of, I don't know if it's something that's just been a carryover, or is that an official town designated? Like, why wouldn't the county be? You don't know of anything statutory why we have that or spell that out?
I'll do a quick deep dive and see. There's nothing off the top of my head on statutorily why you would need to spell that out, but I'll look in the town power statute and see.
Are we gonna do a TBD until we get a
TBD that
response?
one.
Yeah. All right, road foreman, currently Craig Rhinelander. He's on our road and bridge committee. Weed inspector is Jack, our public works guy. Okay, that is section 2.
Make a motion to approve section 2.
Motion's
the
been made. Is there
reorganization.
a second?
I will second it.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, section 3. This is the committee and department liaisons. And before we go through that, if you'll indulge me a little bit, at the last workshop we had, I kind of verbally walked through an idea I had, and it's just a suggestions for the board to consider. It's not that it's perfect. I didn't know how to depict it any better than what I did in these slides. What I'm trying to do here is kind of realign to where the first slide, it's titled Current Community Committee Assignments. And it depicts the community committees, which is your school, forest, road and bridge, P&Z, cemetery, fire department, parks. Those are kind of depicted on the top. And then we've had in the past town board liaisons, which is depicted on the bottom. And we pick our liaisons and then we go attend those committee meetings. And we're supposed to be the conduit of information and bring that back to the board. I'm wondering if you go to the second slide, it's a proposed community committee assignments. It's switched. And rather than the arrows being that the supervisors go to those committee meetings, is that we make it to where the committees actually represent them to the board as a whole. And that way, instead of having a single or two supervisors that really know what's going on and is the only point person for them to talk to, it opens it up for the entire board. So the board's kind of also goes back and supports in our code of conduct, where what one supervisor knows, all supervisor knows, and it kind of gets us all on the same page. And the board is supposed to act as one body, and this gives us an opportunity to do that, I think, better than we have been in the past.
So basically have the committees represent themselves to us.
Correct. Yep, and we can work out, again, this is just a rough high level. We can work out the details, and maybe it's kind of more of a communication plan, because sometimes maybe they can just send a report that gets submitted as part of the consent agenda. We can pull it out and discuss it if we need to. But if they're looking for funding or if they are looking for permission to do something, then it would be nice to have a representative of that group come before the board and have that discussion with us. So that's the kind of the community committees, how I defined it anyhow. So before I go on to the next part, any comments, questions?
Would we still be, so we wouldn't have to go to the meetings, just an option?
Correct, right?
Okay.
Yep, and you'd still be able to go, any supervisor
Yeah.
can go to any of the meetings anyway. It's just that you're not having that responsibility to go and bring the information back and such. right now, we haven't even done reporting. We haven't done monthly reporting. I mean, we only usually bring back if there is a question or something that the committee needs. And this way it actually fosters a little bit more communication. Okay, so that's that part. And then there's a second part, which is departments. And departments would be like building maintenance, senior center, public works, police, recycling, security, IT. We currently also have safety, HR, media, office staff, and enforcements. And again, what we've had is town board liaisons. So supervisors are assigned to those, and we're supposed to be a conduit of information, but it's really hard to just be a conduit of information when there's day-to-day functions and questions that come up. And we find ourselves more in a managerial role sometimes than we do a liaison role. And I'm trying to figure out how we can flip that a little bit, because I can only imagine as an employee how difficult it is when you have 5 bosses that you're answering to. And so I think this would help. I think it would help the employees. I think it would also help communications and accountability. But in doing so I've got the departments depicted on the top and liaisons on the bottom. And currently that's how it's working. Liaisons up. If you go to the next slide, this is where I've got it proposed a little bit different. And we've had a little bit of conversation about having somebody, having staff in a more of a coordinator type role. So we've got the town board on the top. So town board's overseeing everything. I got 2 arrows coming down, one to kind of an operations department coordinator, and the other one down to the fire department fire chief. And I kind of see those along the same lines of performing the same duties. It's just one is for the operational departments of the township and the other is for the fire department. Functions underneath the operational department coordinator would be building maintenance, enforcements, information technology, police, public works, recycling, safety, security, senior center, operational staff, and a website. So that coordinator then would be dealing with the day-to-day of what's going on in all those areas. So if an employee has an issue, they're getting their direction first from the coordinator. And same thing with the fire chief. They would go to the fire chief. So the coordinator then would be responsible for reporting to the township. So if you look at a city and how the cities are set up, they have an administrator, which is kind of your funnel between the board and the operations of the township or the city. So that would give us another ability to where supervisors, instead of getting stuck doing more of the day-to-day employee type stuff, to kind of start focusing on what supervisors should be focusing on, which is the direction of the township and finances. So if you look at the next one, the proposed town board committees, this would be kind of just a thought putting out there. And again, we can bring this to a work session and kind of beat through it in more detail. But so I see the town board as being the town board, focusing on, having like some committees of the town board itself, like a personnel committee, a finance committee, operational committee, and a planning committee. And there's probably others that as we talk through this, we're probably going to figure out. But like personnel then would be working on more on the hiring of employees, employee insurance, employee programs, benefits, the employee handbook, employee access and security. From finance, those functions would be the annual budget, expenditure tracking and reporting, capital improvement plan. Just as some examples, operational would be like township insurance, an equipment plan. We always have fire trucks and equipment that are expiring that need to be replaced. There'd be a plan for that. Building usage and maintenance, public works plan, police, IT, those kind of things, just the operational side of it. And then planning would be more of the P&Z type thing, the comprehensive plan, ordinance review. Supervisor Lugke has brought that up, and I agree. We need to figure out a way of doing scheduled reviews of our ordinances to make sure that they make sense and that they're not in conflict with each other. So those are just some examples for the board to start thinking about. I think we still would need to, I don't think, we still need to have supervisors assigned to the different committees. But again, rather than being involved in the day-to-day, the committees, you'd be dealing with more of the overarching responsibility. So if the coordinator is dealing with something in public works and they need supervisor involvement, they would have a contact person or maybe even two contact person or people that they could reach out to and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I would suggest, but I need a supervisor to give me some input. And that way they're not left out there, on their own. They have an avenue to go to supervisors, but we're not the first line. So, and again, I know last year what we did was we did committee assignments and we didn't agree on everything. So we came back, I think the next meeting or two, and we made some adjustments until we were satisfied with it. So I'm not saying we have to implement this tonight. But I would like the board to consider, and again, this may not even be the answer, but I think we need to get to the point of where we're separating the day-to-day operations and employee stuff from the town board business side of it. And I think this might be a step in the right direction. So we can still go through the committee assignments. We can do the committee assignments, and then I would suggest we dig more deep into this in upcoming working session and see if we can refine this a little bit. I'll give Mark an opportunity also, I think, to look at this and see if this fits within kind of a best practices or a standard in cities and whatnot, and then try to fine tune that. So, with that, we can go ahead and start by going through these committees and redoing the assignments, and then knowing that we're going to come back and revisit this again. Questions, comments?
I think my only comment would be that I think it's a step in the direction that we had spoken about some months ago when I first started working with you all about kind of taking the supervisors out of the supervisor day-to-day supervisor title and putting yourself back in the role as an elected official. I think that this creates a clearer chain of command and will dovetail nicely with some other things that we've spoken about doing, like making sure there are clear job descriptions for your employees. Because, a source of frustration is not only who do I report to, but also what are my job duties. So I think us taking a comprehensive look at the employee handbook job descriptions and then getting what Supervisor Olson just presented on all kind of squared away would really put the township in a great position to establish some clarity with its employees and amongst its supervisors. And I would even encourage perhaps once we start to hammer these things out and we get some more definite policy, maybe even doing an explicit invite to employees to come to a meeting. So there can be a clear line of communication between the board and its employees about the expectations of the employees and then with whom they will be responsible with communicating as their supervisor. So I think it's a step in the right direction for sure.
Good, thank you, Mark. Any other comments? All right. All right, so we'll start going down through these assignments. Again, they'll change here over the next weeks or a few months here, so. Yep.
With that, for brevity, is everyone good leaving it as is, or do we want to move something and then we're set as it is right now with coverage?
Are we set though?
No. Go ahead.
Because of something that,
Yeah,
Comes
we
up
got
later.
we have two on everything.
no, we don't, not
No.
on building
So-
maintenance.
Yeah, we do, because this isn't the latest
Oh, it's
one.
not the latest. Gotcha. If we already have coverage across all of them, I'm fine with keeping them as is, but I would like to remove human resources.
Yeah.
So me and Lisa set out to just basically make it so that we don't need a human resources liaison department kind of thing. And we got ourselves replaced with Abdo. There's no longer a need for a human resources delegation from the board.
I will second that.
I'll make that a motion to remove the human resources department from the board.
All right. Is there a consensus to remove human resources from this list?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Then we don't need a motion.
Okay, perfect.
Any other changes in the list before we go through it?
Just to remove family fun day, because again, They speak to themselves.
Okay,
There is someone for the first one.
so I know,
I'm on that one.
Bob and Andy were building maintenance. The rest of them, I think, are accurate. Oh, Park and Rec, Sam's on that one too.
Mhm.
As well as
Yeah,
School
that's just
School
Forest.
Forest, yeah, so this list is definitely not up to date.
Am I still being excluded?
So we don't even know what we're approving if we approve this
No.
list. So, just correct me if I'm wrong on these, building maintenance, it's Bob and Andy right now.
Yep.
Cemetery is Bob and Lisa. Family Fund Days is done. Fire Department is Lisa alone. Human Resources out. Information Technology is John and Sam. Media newsletter website is Andy and Sam. Office staff is Bob and Andy. Parks and Rec is Lisa, Sam. Planning and zoning is Andy and Bob.
Yep.
Police is Lisa and me.
Yep.
Kind of unofficially, but that would be a change that we would make. Public Works right now is myself and Sam. Recycling is Lisa, Andy. Road and Bridge is myself and Sam. Safety Workplace, we melted those together with building maintenance. So that's Bob and Andy. Those were done before. Security is Andy and John. Senior Center Transportation is Bob and Andy. School Forest is Lisa, Sam, and then I'm solo on Sunrise Watershed. The only other thing that I would ask for consideration is being that we're kind of making some changes, I would like to be considered to help work with office staff.
That makes sense to me.
Okay. All right, so we'll remove Bob and we'll put myself, so it'll be Andy and John. All right. Everything look good? Any other changes, suggestions? Anything else you see?
It's good.
All right. We would like to make a motion to accept section 3 as written.
I'll make a motion to accept section 3 as written.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries 4-0. All right,
And Supervisor Olson, can we go back to section 2 just briefly on health authority? There's nothing I can find in chapter 365 under the town statutes that would require the township to designate a health authority. So I do believe that if you would like to strike it from the list, that would be appropriate.
perfect. I'll make a motion then to make a change to section 2 to remove health authority from the list.
I will second that.
All right, motion been made and seconded. All in favor? Yes.
There's a hand up.
Yep, you have to come up to the microphone or nobody can hear you. Sorry. You know the rules. You've been around long enough.
Just remember that when we started with the health authority, it was from the fire department that required it. I remember the chief came in and he's the one that picked the one.
That's what I thought, but it,
Because I think they need somebody on that, who to contact or something like that. Just, if I remember right.
maybe it's a, we
Okay.
can speak of, maybe it's more of a definition change then, because. Yeah. it's really
Okay.
the-
With this,
Whoever has the PSA for the ambulance service has medical direction, which they by default have by statute, because they're the PSA,
right.
so.
My only thought is I haven't read fully through the SOP or SOG for the fire department, but is it somewhere housed in there? The need for it? That I don't know. I don't know what the harm of having a designated health authority is. So, I mean, if there's no problem with keeping it, maybe we keep it and investigate and can strike it at a later date once we do some digging, but I think there's more harm to be done if we do need it and we strike it than if we don't need it and we.
Yeah, I took it as something with the county health in that last
Think you had-
EM meeting we had. So that's why I thought it was, because this person know they're our health authority then.
Yeah.
Maybe that'd be the thing to
I
clarify.
always wondered that too, even if they're still in the area. All right, so is that something that we want to just check with fire chief on? And bring back?
I
on what-
can.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa's got an action item, Billy. All right, so we'll leave that as is then. Everybody okay with that section? All right. That should take care of all of section 4. So public forum, let's go into section 5, public forum. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to the board on any topic that's not on the agenda? All right, seeing none, we will close the section for public forum. And we will move on to consideration and approval of the agenda. So the remainder of the agenda, is there any changes, additions? Anything that anybody would like to add or remove? One I know that we will have to add is resignation from Supervisor Millerburn. So if we can put that down as 8.7 under, actually it'd be 9.7 under new business.
That's. Then it'll have a resolution under it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be, yeah, we can do 9.7.1 or whatever. All right, and then, okay, let's see, and it's already in the new agenda, so we got 10.1 under old business for the fire department new hire. Any other changes? Or additions? Everybody okay with this?
It's good.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries 4-0. All right, consideration and approval of the consent agenda, section 8. Is there any changes to the consent agenda? Right, hearing none. Make a motion to accept the consent.
There's discussion afterwards.
Okay,
Cemetery. I was just wondering, I have a question about that.
okay. I'll first make the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. Now, is there any discussion?
So for the cemetery one, will Bucky's family be the one that he would has already? They be giving one back? I didn't see that in the, if he gets the new plot.
I believe that's what this one is. Right? Right now, we're taking a lot back.
Okay, I didn't see the lot back. I guess I
Yeah,
didn't read.
That's what
Okay,
the RFA
okay,
is. So
okay.
The board would be accepting a lot back and then that lot
Okay.
would be deferred.
That's,
Okay. All right, so we got clarification.
Yep.
All right, now that we've clarified that, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I
Aye, opposed. Motion carries 4-0. New business. All right, no parking signs on East Typo Drive Northeast. This is not, it is not a cul-de-sac, it is a hammerhead. And it, anybody know what page that's on?
that is going to be page number 23.
Thank you, Supervisor Ludkey. Okay, so what's been happening up there, and this has been reported since I got on the board 3 years ago, is that each winter fishermen, ice fishermen find that it's easier to go park at the end of that road. That's the road that's on the east side of Typo Lake. They go up to the hammerhead, they park in the hammerhead, and then they walk a path down, puts them on the north side of the lake, which shouldn't say it out loud, but that's where the best fishing is on Typo. So this way they shortcut to it rather than, trying to drive across the ice or haul their stuff all the way across the ice. But because of that, causes some issues with traffic control up there. They plug it up. The garbage trucks go up there, they can't turn around. The school bus goes up, can't turn around. We've now had the school bus garage, their safety administrator did call last week and raised an issue with us that it is creating a safety hazard for the students because the bus driver can't get all the way up there to turn around, and they're being forced into letting the students out, having to walk along the road. And so it's been escalated, to being a safety issue. So I put this RFA on here to consider putting no parking signs up there to keep people from plugging that area up. So on my RFA, it was to have a discussion about the no parking signs. And then we've got Mark here, so consider legal process of approving the installation of directional signs. And then if everything suits, making a motion to move forward with.
Who owns that land there?
Township does. So I took an opportunity to look at GIS. Technically, that area is platted and where the road ends short of the hammerhead, but it looks like you all have improved property that you own on the backside of where the platted road ends and have improved it into a hammerhead there that people use. Given that it's your property, it would be completely proper for you to put up no parking signs around the area of that hammerhead there after the platted road ends.
What if we, just spitballing, what if we made a parking lot there?
I was
That's
wondering,
your question.
I was going there.
If people want to park there, maybe just make it easy for everybody to win.
Yep, come on up. And your name and address first, please.
I'm Kenneth Kohel. I live at 24442 East Typo Drive Northeast. We're the next to the last house on the road. Now, the property that the hammerhead is on is actually a parkland. It was originally part of the Gene Betker farm. And Gene had made a road down to the lake, and the fishermen go up and use that road just to walk up, and they can't drive down to the lake. But there's been times where there's been 10 vehicles up there. So it can get quite congested, and school buses are backing into my driveway, the neighbor's driveway to turn around. And when it was real icy, it got real dangerous letting the children off the bus.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the reason they were taken down was somebody from the state highway department complained that the signs that were originally put up by, I think Ed Kramer put them up when it was years ago, was brought back, and he claimed they were not legal state signs.
Okay.
That's why they were removed originally.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, the financial impact, just looking at what we spend on a street sign. We'd be looking at about $40 a sign. If we get 6 signs up there to get that coverage in there, we're looking at about a total cost of about $240. We have a $5,000 annual sign budget, road and bridge, so we could take that out of the road and bridge or the public works budget. Yes, come on up.
Ryan Langlois, 232nd Avenue. Could you not save the cost of additional 6 signs, go down to 2 signs and get the signs that state no parking between signs, cover this area there, which should cover the entire zone?
Yeah, I thought about that. I was looking at it and on the hammerhead, if you look at the 100 feet or 80 feet before you get to the hammerhead itself, if we just do the hammerhead, people will park there and it's going to create the same congestion. If we put the signs there and we say between, well, you've got your hammerhead, you've got a section that goes to the left and right. And people, I'm afraid, are going to say, well, if the signs are on the left, I can park on the right, or vice versa. So it was to try to get enough coverage in there to where people understand that entire area.
Here's another thought, no parking beyond the signs. You're on the straight designated roadway, the hammerhead is beyond the signs.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good suggestion. We'll look into that. All right. Thank you.
I also think, like, as a parker, somebody who parks frequently, I get confused by no parking signs, especially when it's like laid out in a certain way, especially in the cities. But I think Brian's suggestion would make perfect sense. Just anywhere beyond this point would make perfect sense to me as a frequent parker. I have a question.
Yes.
are we designating this area as no parking, or is it already designated that? And we're just adding signs to inform people?
I could not find anything that said that it was ever decided or approved by the board to make it official.
Okay. It is just putting up the signs, making it official, or do we need to make it official and put up signs?
The latter. I've drafted for the board's consideration tonight an ordinance establishing a no parking zone in that area. In order to exercise your town police powers over the road, you would need to do it via ordinance as dictated by state statute. I've also placed a copy of that resolution in the public packet as well for anybody's consideration. It's rather simple and simply says that the area marked off by no parking signs down at the Hammerhead. So anything that you put up there, those signs would then control via ordinance. The reason that you need an ordinance is if it were ever to be enforced or cited by the sheriff in essence needs something that is documented that says this is the area to not park in to point back to. And so absent you having the ordinance, you do not have the authority, which may have been what the gentleman was saying before, signs came in, got pulled out is likely because there was not an ordinance that established the authority to have the signs there. So with respect to the sign companies, it's my understanding, because I spoke to them a little bit at the annual conference that Matt hosts. They are generally very well versed on what is and is not allowed for signs. So I would give them a call and kind of pitch the few ideas by them of no parking beyond this point. I know there's directional arrows too, so they might have guidance based on the shape of the Hammerhead. If you pull up a GIS aerial and say, how many signs and where do we need them to be pointed to effectively cover this area, they should be able to help you with that. But I do think that the no parking beyond this point is pretty logical. I'm an ice fisherman myself. I love trying to find a place to get out, and I always try and interpret signs as creative as I can. I think that one's pretty black and white.
All right, sounds good. And if we do explore a parking lot, I didn't want to dismiss what your comment was earlier. I don't have any issue with that. We just have to go through a longer process of.
Sure. So for the
Getting that.
meantime, get it closed off
Yeah,
for long term.
exactly.
Make sure that this path to the lake doesn't just go to waste.
Yeah. Ken, come on up again.
You had mentioned about putting the signs back from the Hammerhead. If you go too far, you're actually blocking neighbors from parking in front of their properties.
Yeah.
So we
I
got.
wasn't going that far.
Okay,
I was.
because 80 feet actually would take it from that Hammerhead, would take it to right to the driveway on the north house.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't go back that far.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so it would come back. My estimate of 180 feet was way off, but
Yep.
yeah. In other words, we're not closing off just the left and right Hammerhead entrance just before it. All right.
If they park on the road, would cars be in the way on the road there? If they're not parking there, can the bus get by? Can the bus get by if they're on the road?
Yeah, they're just plugging up when they try to take a left to go into the Hammerhead so that they can back up.
Yeah.
They can't take a left and they can't back up. So they essentially have to back up. So, any other questions, comments, feedback on this?
Just a question on the ordinance. Is it something we have to get so specific on that area, or is there a more broad one for the town? I mean, should this come up in 3 months on a different street for a different reason? Do we have to have an ordinance for every street?
I would encourage you doing that, yes. Or you could amend, generally that's the way I've seen it done in practice, is have one per street. Because if you ever need to repeal or do anything in the future, make modifications, you can do it to the street. We could start a running list and essentially amend the ordinance each time you wanted to add a street. I just think that's a little bit clunkier. I think it's cleaner just to have maybe like a roads file, a no parking file within your roads file, and then we do an ordinance on each one. Anytime you amend it anyways, you're gonna need publication each time you amend the ordinance. That's one thing I actually didn't have the opportunity to draft for you all before tonight's meeting, because I kind of realized this in the packet just before the meeting. So what I will need to do as well is draft a summary of publication I might even actually be able to just knock that out tonight while I'm sitting here. And then get the board to approve that summary of publication for Billy to get that out in the paper as well. Because the ordinance will not take effect until it's published in whatever the paper that you want, Forest Lake Times.
Does resolution have to be approved before we do that?
Does the ordinance need to be approved before you approve the summary? Yes.
All right. Any other comments on this? All right, I want to make a motion to approve and adopt ordinance regulating parking on part of East Typo Drive Northeast, which would be ordinance number 26 dash. Do you want this one 01 or 2? 01? 01. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded. Any other discussion?
I guess I thought this was coming, I'm for it, but I thought it was coming back. So this is an ordinance effective. We can do ordinances that quick? Okay.
So you will adopt the ordinance and then when I'm done drafting it, approve a summary for publication. And then once it hits the paper is when the ordinance becomes effective. What you're likely thinking of and maybe thinking of Supervisor Ludke is there are certain ordinances with respect to zoning that do require public hearings and the whole process. That generally is the connotation that we have when we think of ordinance. There are other ordinances that you have that don't go underneath the whole public hearing requirement through zoning. This is just through your statutory police powers over roads.
And then this, to add on to yours, then this would get sent down to P and Z. I mean, they're not gonna have to accept it, obviously, but how does this get into our book? Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right. Anything else? Yes. The question is are we gonna notify the school district that this is happening? And yes, we will absolutely make contact with them. Thank you. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I couldn't hear you.
Yep.
Okay, 4-0. All right, thank you, everybody, for that. All right, we'll move on to 9.2, which is the selection for maturing certificate of deposit. And our treasurer, Ms. Morris.
The township currently holds 6 different certificate of deposits. We have one that is scheduled to mature on the 24th of this month. So I have included a summary of that particular CD as well as available investment options. And it is asked that the board review the available options and make a selection to move forward.
Okay. So what do you,
This 6-month one looks better to me.
do we have quite a few that are coming up here in the near future?
Our next one scheduled for maturity is going to be February 21st. And then we have one April 30th. And then the next one after that will be October 24th. And then the other 2 will be one in January of 27 and one in May of 27.
So right now they're pretty spread out. So the 2 identified on here would be a 6-month at 3.75 or 21-month at 3.5. What would be the board's pleasure?
6-month.
6 months, and then it'll be due right in the middle of these other ones though too. Well, you know, with the way things are going right now, you might be right on the 6-month. I mean, things are changing with interest rates and stuff pretty fast, so maybe we are better off doing a shorter term on this one and watch and see what happens with the interest rates.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we holistically need to look at this CD program and I wouldn't want it locked up.
Okay. All right, is there a motion then to move forward with the 6-month CD? And do we have, there's a number on that one, right? Do we have the CD number on that?
I can pull it. That one is going to be 2745-52745.
Okay. Write it down or you want me to say it?
Oh, I thought, are you gonna amend it? I didn't know if she was gonna, I wrote it down, but.
No motion on the table right now, if you want to make it.
So. I'll make a motion then. To approve CD number 2745-5274. For the 6-month term.
At 3.75. And I think you left a number off the end. Did I not hear it right? Ending 52745?
4 or 5.
Yep.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Supervisor Olson,
Yes,
if we could just return to item 9.1, so I could propose a summary for publication for the board. It's very brief. I would just
Sure.
read it and get approval via motion from the board. That's just one thing to note for the board. It's kind of a small quirk in statute is that when you adopt an ordinance, distinct from resolutions, but ordinances, the summary of publication needs to be approved by motion of the board before publication. It's just one of those things that you never want to trip up. I think a court would still enforce it if the board didn't have the motion to approve it. But if you ever want to enforce an ordinance, people are going to rifle through everything they can to try and find a way to say that the ordinance is not in effect. The easiest trip up I could see is this, not approving the summary for publication. Hasn't been tested in court, but I like to walk through the steps that statute requires. So the summary is as follows: summary of ordinance 2026-01. Summary of ordinance regulating parking on part of East Typo Drive Northeast. On January 13th, 2026, the Linwood Town Board has adopted ordinance 2026-01. Due to the length of this ordinance, a summary for publication is contained herein. This ordinance prohibits all parking on the hammerhead at the end of East Typo Drive Northeast. Authorized officials may ticket or tow violating vehicles at the owner's expense, and each violation is a petty misdemeanor subject to a $50 fine. The ordinance takes effect upon passage and publication. Signed, Billy Larson, clerk. So I would put that for a motion for approval of the board.
I'll make a motion to approve summary publication language as so stated by the attorney.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
And I have emailed a copy of that summary to Ms. Larson for her to get over to the paper.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mark. All right, we'll go on to 8.3. This is Delwood Estates. As you all probably remember, back in 22-23 timeframe, Delwood Estates was a development off from County Road 74. It was constructed, has 2 roads on it. One main one going into a cul-de-sac, and then another road that comes off from that and back to 74. The developer has completed everything per the engineer. There is an escrow account that's established because they still need to put the last lift of asphalt on. And but in talking to the engineer, he said it is practice that before that even gets put on, since there is an escrow account, that the municipality can take over the responsibility of maintaining it prior to that last lift. And right now we have an issue with the developer is not able to keep up with the weather that we've had. And so mail has been shut off to the 3 residents that are in there, and there's been some issues with garbage and stuff like that. So, so my recommendation was to consider for the board to consider and discuss the township accepting the public works maintenance for Delwood Estates, and then make a motion to accept future and public works maintenance of Delwood Estates. Financial impact will be the increase of day-to-day operation expenses for general public works maintenance, such as the cost to plow, ditch, mow, clean culverts, et cetera, the normal maintenance to roads. There's no way to calculate a specific cost and will be covered by the existing public works operations budget. Is there any questions regarding this request for action? All right, so I'm going to read the motion. I wrote it in a specific way. Just in case there's actually a written agreement that does have to be signed. So I'll make a motion to accept the ongoing public works maintenance for the streets located within Delwood Estates, including Willie Street Northeast and Unser Street Northeast, and approve the chairperson to sign any subsequent contracts or agreements that may be necessary following a town attorney review.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion?
Supervisor Olson, if I could chime in here just briefly.
Please.
So traditionally, when we have situations like this, I haven't had an opportunity myself to review the language in the developers agreement, but we tend to like to memorialize these types of agreements where we engage in the public works functions of maintenance of the road and make it clear with the developer that we are doing so simply for the maintenance, the public works maintenance, but not actually taking over the road. That distinction is critical because we don't want to assume a road that ends up, becoming ours that we are then responsible for upgrading over time when, as a result of the developers agreement, it should be by function their road to do that to. And so when you reference contract in here, I think that's exactly correct is we would want to make that acceptance via a contract where they acknowledge that we are engaging in the public works functions, but we are not accepting the road to become a town road.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. All right, any other comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. All right, 9.4, this is a request to appoint deputy clerk. Clerk Larson.
So a little bit of history. We have not had a deputy clerk since the beginning of April. Julie Donkey has stepped into the role of office assistant in August. And she's really done a lot of different things as far as the office goes. She's learning a lot of the planning and zoning stuff. She answers almost every phone call that comes in for road and bridge. And I think she would make an excellent deputy clerk if you would allow me to give her that role. So my request is to allow me to do that.
I will make a motion to allow Clerk Larson to appoint Julie Donkey as deputy clerk.
I will second that.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. So one thing that I think might need to be added into the motion is to state that it'll be at the same rate as her normal wages rather than setting a different wage. I think that might be
Yeah, I'll make such amendment.
I accept that amendment.
perfect. Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. There you go. You can let her know. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
All right, LBAE meeting date request for 2026. Clerk Larson.
I know that this is not new to you guys. So I am looking for 2 dates to send back that you guys would be willing to have this local board of appeals and equalization meeting for 2026.
Okay. Remember what time frame it was last year?
It's April 20th through May 8th.
Okay.
Or would it be easier for me to go through and send out some dates for you?
Yeah, I think if we tie it with the April 28th meeting, I mean, looking at the calendar, what we're in line with is what we tried to do, but we we tried to get this one to be specific, just to give the residents the time. Cause last, like I said, the ones I participated in was rushed a half hour before a meeting, and so the last year, we moved it to a different night to make time for people. So I would think dates would be better than, because otherwise where I was going with that is we don't have that many meetings in that time frame of the 20th to the 8th. So I would like to see some dates, and then we can make something happen.
Yeah, the only one that we would have established right now in that time frame would be the first workshop in May. That'd be the only one that's already set for a date. Well, that would be one that we could use, but yeah, I agree with Supervisor Ledke. If you can send out a request.
Is there a preference for a night of the week? I know some nights are difficult for people. So just before I send out dates, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'll make anything work. I'll let you guys say what nights doesn't work for you. But I think
I
Andy,
prefer not on Mondays, but I can make it work.
Not on Mondays, that's a good.
Wednesdays are out for you,
Yeah.
so no Wednesdays.
I'm open.
So no Mondays, no Wednesdays.
So you got a preference of no Mondays, definitely no Wednesdays, and the rest of them we'll make it happen.
If it had to be on a Monday, I could do it, but preferably not.
Well, like you said, we could look at that workshop schedule. That was the purpose of those two, in terms of those meeting dates being there and seeing what's on there. And then even if we have to post a second meeting with that night, so the 5th could work.
And I don't think we have anything scheduled for that May workshop date yet. So if you wanted to utilize that date.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. We have lots of meetings all the time, so less is more. Okay. All right, so you'll go ahead and do that then?
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else you need from us for information tonight?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, 9.6, this is planning and zoning updates. This would be Supervisor Ledke and Supervisor Larson, and Clerk Larson.
Mine, it's short in the sense that it was already handled in the previous one, so it was mainly to get it on the topic with creative planning, and as we work through assessing the pretty much with planning and zoning, what and where their staffing requirements are. But I know we do have one case that we would need. You got the details on the moving in the fee and stuff, or waiving the fee. If you could let the board know on that, or what we need to do.
Overview of it.
Overview.
We had a applicant for a variance with previous staff that it appears went down a different path after going through Cindy. And they had submitted the fees for that variance, and now that the variance isn't going to take place, they have to do a different application, and we're wondering if we're able to waive the fee for the second application based off the fact that she already paid for something that she is not going to obtain and cannot obtain.
Is it a similar price, similar fee?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the same application. I mean, it's
Okay.
Essentially the same application.
Yeah, I've spoken with Planner Nash about this quite a bit. I spoke with her over the holidays as well. My recollection of this conversation is, in short, the staff had led the applicant down a variance approach, whereas the septic request really was governed by a procedure that's in your ordinance with respect to septic, not in zoning. And so going through the variance approach is inappropriate, because variances only run to zoning related issues, the practical difficulty standard, et cetera. Whereas really this request needed to be a request that is made through the septic ordinance, which would designate Rum River Consulting as the entity that would have say over whether or not what is being requested is thumbs up or a thumbs down. So it was just a little bit of the applicant moving down the wrong path at the guidance of staff. And the applicant at this stage has withdrawn their variance application. So that takes it off of your plate from a 60-day rule an analysis under 1599. And she's moving, I'm not sure exactly where the progress is at this point, but is moving down the proper steps now with Planner Nash.
So you just need a motion then to allow her initial fee to be moved onto a second application.
Yeah, we're essentially waiving this fee and administratively they'll connect.
Okay.
That the one was canceled and moved to where it's at, so.
Sounds reasonable to me.
So,
Let you figure out the wording.
yeah, because we don't have the application number, do we? Stand by.
I bet I can get it. It does not list the application number in it.
Just what's the address then?
Is
So I think I may have, sorry to butt in here, Billy, but the variance application for consideration was file number 25-22-VAR. The fee collected was $350. And I guess just one more identifying or two more identifying traits. The receipt number was 17044 and the date was 9/29/25.
Mark.
Mhm.
So what I'll do is I'll make a motion to waive the fee for that variance. At which point staff with the applicant can, short of refunding and move it to the new one and have they'll receipt it, do what they need to do administrative. So I'll make a motion that we waive the fee for application 25-22 VAR.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, we'll move on to 9.7. Unless anybody else wants to speak to this, I'll address it. So just prior to the meeting this evening, the board received a resignation from the town board from Bob Millerburn. And so he is resigning effective immediately. I honestly can't say enough good about Bob. I thought he had 14 years. He said he had 12 years on the board. Worked with a lot of wonderful people along the way. Got to be involved in pretty much every aspect of the township. And so we are sadly having to deal with another vacant spot in a resignation. So with that, our legal counsel put together 2 documents for us to consider. The first document is resolution number, what will be 26.01, is that right? Two, right?
No, it's one.
One.
Because one's a ordinance, one's a resolution, so they're separate.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, so 2601. All right, and so this will be a resolution accepting the resignation of Town Board Supervisor Robert Millerburn, then declaring a vacancy. So that'll be the first document. The second document will be a legal opinion that will be submitted into the meeting minutes of tonight's meeting. So it's a matter of record. So I'll make a motion to accept resolution, the resolution accepting the resignation of Town Board Supervisor Robert Millerburn and declaring a vacancy, which is resolution 26-01. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Comments?
Thank Bob for his years.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah, he was our historian, so will historian amongst other things. He will definitely be missed.
He'll be missed, especially during those budget meetings.
Absolutely,
He
absolutely.
always knew what was what.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And then to make this official, I'll make a motion that we take the letter dated January 13th, 2026 from Corey and Rupi regarding the resignation of Supervisor Robert Millerburn and accept that into our meeting minutes and official record. Is there a second?
Second.
Right, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, opposed. Motion carries 4-0. All right. That's all for new business. Old business, we have one on here, 10.1, Fire Department new hire. So Supervisor Lutke and Hendrickson, is that right? Or just Hendrickson?
Was there, sorry, just going back, do we have to set a timeline or for the vacancy?
So just to chat briefly about the vacancy, and I'll give you just a high level overview of what the memorandum that I supplied to you, the board indicates is that you now have officially taken kind of step one of dealing with the situation, which is formally declaring that there is a vacancy. So Supervisor Millerburn could submit a written resignation, but technically until you accept it, which you just did, he could have walked back in the room and said, I'm still a supervisor. So your act has made it official that you've accepted his resignation effective today, immediately. There are now two options moving forward. Statute indicates that in the instance of a vacancy, the town board shall fill that vacancy. Shall is a mandatory word. There really is no punishment if you don't do it, but the people can get you to do it. So there is a way for the public to petition the town board if you fail to take action to appoint someone. So there's kind of two different ways to go about it. The appointment process will be the four of you as well as Ms. Larson as the clerk, who is allowed just as equal say as you in the voting process for selecting a new appointee. And the last thing that I would say, I'm trying to remember the last piece of information I wanted to give. There's no true process that you have to follow. You don't have to hold interviews. It doesn't have to be open. There could be people that you've interviewed for appointments in the past that you as a board all say, yeah, we're in consensus on this. We liked that person. Someone was just picked over them. You could look back to that pool of people. You could go out and you can hold interviews. You have discretion as to how you do that as the appointment committee. So that's kind of the path moving forward. And if you have further questions, I am happy to answer them.
Yes, Sam.
So in the meantime, is Clerk Larson tiebreak vote?
I do not believe so, no.
What
No.
happens if we split?
It's
Fails.
whatever, yeah, it's whatever statute says, right? So if it is a split, the motion would fail if it needs majority to carry.
That makes sense. And then my other question, more of a comment, I think I'm just with Andy, like, let's just get this started right away, I think. But I think somebody in the audience had a question maybe.
Yeah, I think we'll bring this up at the next meeting and get this moving and make a decision on how we're gonna go forward. I know from just our past experiences that if there's a vacancy in the last half of that person's appointment on the board, we could choose to not fill the position until the election this coming year. Or we could choose to fill it in the interim, and then that whoever we would appoint would then be on the board until the end of Bob's normal vacancy or his normal term. And they would have to run for that position if they wanted to continue past that,
When is Bob's seat up for reelection?
at the end of this year.
This year? Well, no, actually, one more question.
Sure.
There's certain funds that can't get moved around without a totally unanimous board vote. Is that
It's now down to 4.
now down to 4?
Yep.
Okay.
And there is a process too for essentially doing a swearing in of the new appointee. And so within 10 days of approving that appointee, they must accept the certificate of office and then also be sworn in. Otherwise, it constitutes refusal of the appointment and you would still have a vacancy.
Come on up, Brian.
Brian Langlois, 232nd Avenue. I think I know which part that you were trying to work out. That's I read the document. It's 20% of the last voting.
Mhm.
The petition for an election
Mhm.
versus an appointment.
Yes. And if you go that special election route, you're gonna incur the cost of a special election too, just as a practical matter. Almost everybody goes the appointment route for that reason.
Could we add that on for because the primary is this year? Could that be added on for that, or that would cost too much money?
Yeah, go ahead, Supervisor Lucky.
Only be per month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's an option for the board to decide, so we've got a couple weeks to think about it and bring it back and discuss it, but
Wouldn't this already be during that time? Automatic, like if his seat is up, the vote for that would be in November.
correct.
Okay.
But that person would hold power through January until when the
Yeah.
new person who won the seat in November would then assume power in January.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it'd be tough to justify the cost of running an election so that they could sit on the board, like you
Mhm.
said, by the time we get through that for 3 months.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, all right, any other questions on that? Great. I think we were moving on to 10-1. The fire department new hire.
So they're looking to hire Brian Walker. For the background Constitution of the Linwood Fire Department, Article 3 membership, Section 3.01, any resident of the town of Linwood, Anoka County, Minnesota, or citizen who lives within 8 minutes responding time from the Linwood Fire Station is not less than 21 years of age, a high school graduate or graduate equivalent degree with GED, and not over 65 years of age, has a current Minnesota driver's license, is eligible for active membership of the Linwood Fire Department. All members will be bound by provisions of the Constitution and the standard operating procedures and guidelines. I'm not sure what SPO and SOG is, adopted and amended from time to time by the Linwood Fire Department. As the demand for our services continues to grow rapidly, we need additional manpower to ensure the smooth operation and efficiency of our fire department. We are currently at 30 paid on-call firefighters. Section 3.02, Linwood Fire Department shall be composed of not less than 10 and no more than 35 active members. The Linwood Fire Department is currently at 30 firefighters per Article 3, Section 3.02. The Linwood Fire Department may hire up to 35 firefighters. Reasons for approval: to meet the increasing demands, provide exceptional service to our community. We are seeking to start the hiring process of Brian Walker. Brian was at the Eagan Fire Department for 6 years and maintained above a 50% response to departments that averaged around 500 calls a year, with 80% being medical. Eagan went full-time in 2021, eliminated the part-time firefighters. He maintained his EMT and was just renewed in March of 2025. His FF1, FF2, and hazmat ops expired in 2022, putting Brian through the 4 phases program. Initially will be a remedial effect to get his certificate current. Brian has been interviewed by the fire department hiring committee and has passed his physical agility test. So the next step, I need to read all that.
No.
Okay,
Again, if
but-
you wanna
but I
read the
would-
recommendation.
Yeah. Recommendations it is recommended that the Linwood Fire Department approve the hiring process as we aim to have the new employee on board by January 1st, 2025. I was gonna, since we're short last time, I had to postpone it. So it is, if approved, staff will update the payroll systems to reflect the new hourly rate and notify affected employees in writing of the approved change and maintain records consistent with the wage and payroll documentation requires. The financial impact to the township is expected to be minimal due to Brian being a fully trained firefighter and EMT.
Very good, thank you. Kind of looks like a no-brainer to me.
He's got the training already. I recommend that we do go ahead and hire him.
Yeah, this has been in the works for at least a couple months, I would say, so. If you would like to move forward with a motion to hire Brian Walker as a firefighter,
I would like to make a motion to hire Brian Walker as firefighter for the Linwood Fire Department.
Second.
right? Motion is made and seconded. When would this be effective? Because it's no longer January 1st of 26. Do we know?
I would think as soon as they get a letter to him by the end of the month, I would have to reach out to Daryl for that to find out for sure, but I know in the meeting they mentioned that it was gonna be, that we were talking about it, so I'm gonna say tomorrow.
So as soon as possible, and we don't need to specify his rate of pay, do we? Should to hire, because he's just being hired at the standard firefighter rate, okay.
He's being hired at the standard rate, you're fine. You could also do, he's hired, at a date set effective upon, whatever the chief, designates. The chief can say you start on this date. And that could be the start date. Totally up to you, although on how you structure that.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Is this a conditional thing since we haven't done background or any of that?
Very good question.
Is that
Okay,
part of this?
I was,
Very good point. So you're probably gonna want to amend the motion with statement, the hiring upon.
so amending my motion would be on the conditions that he passes his background check
Medical evaluation.
and medical evaluation.
Second.
All right. Amendment's been accepted. Any other discussion? Yep, come on up.
Brian Langlois, 232nd Ave. Just, I read through the papers, but is this filling an empty position?
Yes,
It is, okay. I just wanted to know if it was an increase in cost or if it was just filling a void.
fill in a void.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you, Brian. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
I will be abstaining.
That's a 3-0 and 1 abstention. All right, and thank you for that, Lisa. All right. Upcoming meetings, we got planning and zoning on January 20th, 2026 at 6 o'clock. Parks meeting, January 26th at 6 p.m. Town board workshop will be January 27th at 5:30 with the local, let's see, there's a local government's official meeting also. This is a Anoka County one, January 28th at 6 p.m. I think that's down at the
Bunker Park.
Bunker Lake. Yeah, there you go, Bunker Park. Monthly town board workshop. This will be discussing road and bridge. Road and bridge and public works topics. So that'll be with the road and bridge committee. That'll be February 3rd at 5:30. That's the first Tuesday. And the next regular town board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, the 27th at 6:30 right here. Supervisors or Mark or staff, anything else to come before the board?
With respect to upcoming events, Supervisor Olson, I might propose, I know that there's been some conversation about you have the workshops that occur prior to you having the town board meetings. I don't think it would hurt for the board. I know that you likely at the beginning, or maybe right before the turn of the year, approved a schedule for your regular town board meetings. Do you do a workshop before every single one of those meetings?
Yes.
And so I think it doesn't hurt to have a motion to indicate that you're also going to do a workshop that will start 1 hour prior at 5:30 and put that along with the list of all of the approved times on your website and on the bulletin board. I think it would just be best practice to do that.
That is on our schedule of meetings.
Oh, perfect. So you've already got the workshops on there?
Yeah,
Very
workshops are already on there. Yeah,
Okay.
that's already covered.
Great. That sounds perfect.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Come on up. Oh. Yep, come on up, though, Ed. Ed Kramer of, what's your address, Ed?
Kramer of 7860 Fawn Lake Drive. I talked to you earlier about bringing up something about the chairs and tables.
Yep.
If I could,
Absolutely, if you want to do it in the board meeting, absolutely.
if I could use some of the tables, maybe from the senior center or something. I want the better tables. This is for Buck's funeral. Cause at the church, we don't have enough tables and chairs to handle what's gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm looking at about 5 or 6.
Of the white ones from the senior
Yeah, of the
center.
white ones. I don't wanna really take
Yeah.
the
Yep,
big wooden heavy ones that we have. So that's why I brought it up. Otherwise they just go to her, but you know, we're taking the better ones and the chairs out.
Yep.
Okay,
sure. I'll make a motion to allow Ed Kramer to borrow some tables and chairs from the senior center to use for Buck Broadbent's funeral.
Second.
Okay, motions been made and seconded. Wilson, Cole. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries. There you go, Ed. If you can coordinate with Sarah.
Yep.
She's
I'll
got
do
the
that.
schedule of everything that's going on there.
it'll just look nicer than if we took them old wood ones.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Ed.
I might want to just mention that recycling will be closed this Saturday so that we can go celebrate Bucky's life.
Okay. Recycling closed this Saturday. All right, very good. Anything else to come before the board? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sorry, I'm gonna give it to Ludke this time.
It's only fair.
Henriksen, Ludke. Motion to adjourn. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 and we are adjourned at 8:04.